it's this easy. As someone who's never dipped their toes into modding until like 20 seconds ago, this has been a quick and painless experience. So let's get all these downloaded and boot up. So oh boy.
There is a gun on the table in front of us, so let's pick that up and load it, and now we're sitting at a completely different table with a guy in front of us.
I would like to mention that these transitions are super abrupt. There's no warning, no indicators, and they're seemingly at random. You'll just be minding your own business, and then the game will just jump cut to a completely different place at a completely different time. Son of a bitch.
For pretty much as long as video games have existed, there have been people that just spew information and fake rumors all over the place. Even going back to Super Mario Bros., there was a rumor going around there was a supposed chocolate factory level in the game, all thanks to something written in one of the How to Win at Nintendo games books. It's stuff like that, the fake news that seems like it could be real just because the person presenting the information goes,
yeah, this is totally legit. My uncle's sister's nephew's best friend's dad works at Nintendo, and also I woke up this morning and it was carved into my forearm.
Here's a fun fact about me, I absolutely adore Tetris. It's my favorite puzzle game ever.
I'm also quite the enjoyer of breathing oxygen and consuming water.
Saying Tetris is your favorite puzzle game might be one of the most basic bitch things a human being could say. I mean, it really is the puzzle game. It practically invented the genre. Everyone and their fifth cousin twice removed dog knows Tetris. But hey, I know what I like. There's just something about it that speaks to me like no other puzzle game does. So call me a basic bitch all you want, but I'm not gonna say my favorite puzzle game is Puyo Puyo for the sake of having a slightly more unique opinion.
That being said, I do actually very much like Puyo Puyo.
Unfortunately, marketing is a very big aspect of gaming. I mean, how else was I supposed to know a new Mario Strikers game was coming out? You just expect me to walk down the street and hope I figure it out along the way? It's important for companies to put something out there to let people know a game is coming. Otherwise, the game would just come out and nobody would know or care. Although, I guess there is the chance you could put a trailer up and people would still forget about it. No, there's gotta be an easier way. Maybe even a way to show off a bunch of games at once. That way, if I don't care about Mario Strikers, I can find it in me to care about Disney Speedstorm.
Online gaming presentations, because what better way to show your fans nothing they want by giving them exactly what they want?
In 1825, Joseph Nicephore Niepce did humanity a favor and invented photography, and it only took us until 2004 to start putting it in video games. Alright, the camera is an incredibly important aspect in video games. Even in 2D games where the camera isn't directly controllable, the placement of the camera is incredibly integral to the gameplay of that game. Like, imagine trying to play Super Mario Bros. From a top-down perspective. Of course you can't, that would be absurd. The NES sold so well over any of its competitors because the games were there. There was legitimately any style of game on this thing. Platformers, adventure games, shoot-'em-up, puzzle games, and even some stuff that belongs in a dumpster fire. The NES had it all. Plus, people trusted the Nintendo brand, even after they straight up lied to their face about what they were selling. It didn't matter. People knew they were in for a quality time with Nintendo products. And nobody trusted Atari after essentially ruining video games, and nobody even knew who this CJ guy was. In 2013, a game called Super Mario 3D World released on the Nintendo Wii U to a collective, woo! Followed a couple years later by a collective, Basically, here's what happened. 3D Mario games are an event. When one comes out, everybody pays attention to it and sinks countless hours into it and has to consummate their marriage and blah blah blah. The point is, these games don't happen very often, and they're also pretty consistently excellent.
So, I'm gonna try something else. Something that actually fills the role of the hobby I tell people I have at parties, and they go, oh, that's fun, but don't actually want to hear anything past that, but they don't say anything because they don't want to hurt my feelings, so I keep talking about it, and it just creates this really awkward situation. Gardening.
So Cooking Mama happened, big f***ing deal. On October 21st, 2011, the Nintendo YouTube channel uploaded something fascinating. Something called a Nintendo Direct. I wonder what that's all about.
Hi, I'm Reggie from Nintendo of America.
So at this point, I think it's becoming incredibly obvious how insane the power of modding is. I could keep going. I could bring up mods like Glyph, which has this insane gimmick of swapping between two different versions of the level to get through the rooms by going through these glowing boxes or whatever. I could bring up Neo Metropolis, which has these new pink bubbles that are like a combination of the red bubbles and the feather, where you constantly move forward, but you can still control your vertical movement, and the level's also really hard. I could bring up Cryo Shock, which also has new bubbles that don't refill your dash when you use them, and the level's a lot of fun, but also has an obnoxiously long final room. I could bring up the Road Less Traveled, which is inspired by some Robert Frost poem, and has this really cool burn mechanic, and the whole level overall just has a really relaxing vibe. And I could bring up Gun-A-Line, which gives Madeline a gun.
I don't actually know how to start talking about Tetris Effect because, I mean, it's fucking Tetris. You build a stack up, you drop an eyepiece in, you get a Tetris, rinse repeat until you make a single mistake that quickly becomes 15 mistakes, which then forces you to play cleanup as you desperately cling to your run. It's fucking Tetris. I mean, I could talk about the addition of the new Zone mode, which is actually a pretty sweet addition to the Tetris formula. As you clear lines, you fill up this meter, which then you can start to drain by pressing one of the triggers. Then all the gameplay kind of comes to a halt, and it's up to you to clear as many lines as possible to net yourself a shit ton of points. It's a pretty satisfying new addition, and also it does once you clear past 8 lines, and the new names for the progressively higher line clears past Tetris are comically long. I'm not even going to try to begin to pronounce that. In late 1994, the Sega 32X fell down 13 flights of stairs and landed on store shelves. This allowed people access to another new and exclusive library of a whopping 40 games. That's it! You have Virtua Fighter, you have Doom, you have a Sonic game that doesn't even have Sonic in it, you have a bunch of ports of arcade games, you have it going for $160, you have 800,000 units sold. At least it outsold Nintendo's Virtual Boy. So apparently this crate is full of tapes, and this lady wants one for some reason. And she wants one so badly that she single-handedly earns the game its M rating. Well, that's just uncalled for. However, we don't budge because if we gave her one, they would notice.
Have I mentioned how much I don't understand what's going on in this game?
I don't remember exactly when or what game it was that made me notice, but I just remember thinking a couple years ago,
wow, there are a lot of games with camera mode, huh?
I think it's probably because I used to not really care about camera mode, and yet I would just see it in so many games, and I would just go, why do they keep adding this mode in games? Why is anyone even using it? Again, it never made me angry to see it. It's not like it hurts to have a camera mode in a game. It's almost completely superfluous to the game itself. But it was just weird for me to see the random, sudden obsession.
You ever actually used one of these before? This is amazing.
See, in 2004, Super Mario 64 was ported to the Nintendo DS with a whole slew of changes and additions. Most notably, new playable characters. Now, instead of just playing as Mario, you could also play as Yoshi, Wario, and even Luigi, finally joining Super Mario 64 after 8 long years. But it's with this port that the Ella's Real mystery was sort of reborn, because if you look at this roster of playable characters, you might notice it feels like someone's missing.
Oh, come on, no Birdo.
Waluigi, who's pretty much always appeared alongside his counterpart Wario, wasn't here. So naturally, the next logical step is to begin a brand new, equally fruitless quest to find him. Which I was a part of. I don't know, I was like 8 years old, a friend told me Waluigi was in the game, gave some arbitrary list of instructions to find him, and I completely fell for it.
Listen, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I may be stupid.
Bowser's Fury feels like it needed to justify being packaged with 3D World somehow, and just completely overcompensated for it.
What's happening? Where'd the music go? Why is it raining? What the hell is going on? Oh no, the pansies are wilting! This is horrible! I have to go save them!
Our next step with the pansies is to take them out of the ground and put them in a pot and give them some more water.
Oh no, I don't have any pots. Here, you can live in this cardboard box. Here's your water. There, you're safe now. But of course, after all of that, I still haven't brought up the biggest, most obvious change. I redecorated my room. Look, I painted my walls. I live in this corner now. I can't believe nobody noticed. Hey, sorry, I can't talk. I've been asked by Red Robin to make a presentation on, get this, existence. Confused by what that means? Yeah, join the club. Where the hell do I even start? How do I even start? What, should I just start talking about Metroid 2 and see where I end up? I'll be right back. So I came up with this.
Hi, Caleb Webb. I'm your virality consultant. What seems to be the issue?
Hi, Droopy Tersen. Soon to be viral, sooner to learn what that means.
Okay, let me just pull up your file real quick. Okay, let me get this straight. You call this about getting help with going viral without even knowing what going viral is?
That is correct, yes.
Oh boy, okay, here, let me break this down for you. Basically, going viral is when something gets a whole bunch of attention.
Oh wait, I actually know this one.
Excuse me?
No, don't worry about it, I'll take it from here.
What?
I was going about my morning like any other day, just sort of doing normal morning stuff, when I randomly noticed Nintendo uploaded a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. I was kind of actively ignoring gaming news at the time, so I kind of just stumbled upon this by accident. Since I had nothing better to do, I decided to give it a watch, because honestly, what's even going to be revealed in it?
A remake of Pac-Man World is coming soon.
And just like that, I lost all my credibility. You know, one of my favorite things about buying terrible games is when they show up next to all my normal games on the home screen. Oh hey Drew, what games have you been playing recently? Oh, you know, just a little Metroid Dread, Link's Awakening, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Polygraph Escape from the Lie Detector. It's perfect. I feel like this might be a good time to bring up something I forgot to mention when I was talking about the first game, but I did use a map to help me then. Okay, look, I know. I feel super guilty about it too, but seriously, this game kind of needs a map. Okay, it doesn't need one, but it sure as hell makes navigation a whole lot more bearable. It wouldn't be impossible without a map. I still feel like the rooms are distinct enough that you could figure out where you are and have a rough idea of where to go just playing through the game without any outside help. But having a map does help with getting to a specific area. Like going back to get the ice beam at the end of the game. You might have a general idea of where the ice beam is, but having a general idea is not really gonna help you actually get the ice beam, is it? So I don't want to hear about how my opinion on the game is invalid because I cheated or didn't play the game how it was intended or didn't draw the map out in these vague blobs in the manual.
We're getting off topic.
The reason I bring this up is because I barely needed a map for Metroid 2. Yes, I did still use a map because it is still kind of easy to get turned around in some instances.
Stop cheating when you play Metroid. Who the hell cares enough about this to throw a brick through my window?
This is the entire game. Question 8, have you used drugs? Yes, and I love it.
Sometimes I just take a couple Advils for the hell of it.
Question 12, am I carrying a gun?
I'm not gonna answer that.
2 questions later and I failed again.
I can already feel the brain cells leaking out of my ears.
On the bright side, I now have enough MasterCards to buy a mystery box!
Holy f***ing shit! And another thing, wait, are you even paying attention?
No, I'm telling my wife about how much of a horrible client you are.
Ha! That's a good one. You're not married. The more games the series has, the more opportunities there are to find the ideas that do work and the ideas that don't. And for that reason, I think Metroid 2 Return of Samus is absolutely justified to exist. So the presentation was supposed to be on efficiency, which is not only grammatically incorrect, but also something I have a much more concise presentation on. There, you see that? I got rid of that old presentation so fast! Woo! Yeah! Efficiency, baby!